posts, like these things right here. They put people on stakes and burn them alive. It's a flag. This is a garbage truck right there. Remind you like these chariots, these buggies that come in with boiling hot water. They'd leave on for 24 hours and burn people alive and then hang people. And they would light them on fire, or they would put boiling hot water on them, and they would tie them to the post with like hay bin things, that light ropes, and their whole skin would be burnt off of them. Right here, things like this, where people were burned alive. I just showed you two things. This tree's been there though. Showed you two things, but this thing over here, yeah, you can see where it's a little red thing. They'd tie people on posts and then burn them alive. It's a tree. They hung people here, of course. Wherever trees were taken out, big ones were hung, like in the park where you see the ballerina girl. We put like a monument there where people were hung a lot. Just like on the graveyard, you'll see like where we removed a few of the Christopher Columbus symbols, because we didn't want it there to explain. We don't wash up symbols or anything. Of course, yes, we are the authors, not of confusion, but a lot of things that you see in Egypt, the pyramids and stuff, that we had built before the flood, and other people inhabited, and we came to stay there a little bit again, and my ancestor Moses and so forth were King Tut, and his father were King Tut, and the Kehos were the King Tuts, and I am of King Tut because I'm of Israel and Moses. Again, wherever you see a tree, and look at that tree over there. But yeah, and then those trees over there are much skinnier. Down there, they're a little bit scary. And people, right here it says Masonic Lodge, but you only see that symbol, Christopher Columbus symbol. That some people call it Mason symbol because it's Christopher Columbus symbol that measure all the other Mason symbols in the earth, such as in general people who built like the Aztecs and like the other temples we have found related to Indians, and other indigenous sites like where they dug themselves into the cliffs and made nice rooms and so forth, with like wood ladders and so forth, and then all the Cherokee sites that you don't see and so forth, or they did leave Hebrew stones. And so anyhow, it says ends, named a lot of these streets here. But that's what happened, man. And it's a lot of my history, and they bring women out and burn them, and sometimes they sexually abuse women and men on the post. It was no doubt that Benjamin Franklin, who was also Garfield, who was murdered, and at 19 years of age, he was also molested many times by his teacher. And then the dude that had been killing us and all the time that was related to Bundy, to George Washington, all of a sudden wanted to play a father figure, like an evil person. Like some of the history of the popes with themselves and stuff, how they would harm each other and so forth, in the cycle of sociopathism and so forth. Try to do that. And he killed the teacher and so forth, but he had molested the teacher and so forth. And it's crazy, man. The story's crazy, man. Ran into this dude, Mr. Hardy, who was a child molester, whose name was Brian Peters, and he came from Ohio to Ventura. From Ventura, when he was in Ohio, he had a brother that came to Oklahoma, and he was the one who molested the president. I went over there from Oregon, wherever you see a post. Pretty much all these, they would just put them up. bring people too from different towns, Christians and so forth, that were devout to us. They'd find everybody who was martyred were Christians. There wasn't a person that wasn't martyred Christian. Sometimes they'd bring some of their own wicked people or people who would burn people alive, and then, they were going to go to hell, and they would get lit on fire, be burning. You know, where you see fire hydrants and stuff. Every little marker out here is where someone was killed. Over here, I show a place of, where there's stone. It says Dorothy. And they burn their own alive, a few of them. Sometimes they bring Indians, Aztec Indians, and burn them alive in our graveyard and stuff. For a while, we're just under attack. And they run out some Indians that are still a little bit around, who are made into the reservoirs that have Indian reservations and stuff. That's what would happen. And and I made these new police cars here that you see around and so forth. But everything like that. And there'd be lots of them that come in and stuff, and they just do it at once, sometimes in the day, sometimes in the night. And sometimes burn people in the houses, sometimes not. Sometimes fill the houses with the people that they would burn. They'd bring people from out of town to come live here or on their side and pull them out their house and put them on stakes and burn them alive or so forth, according to the stories that they heard from, I put that on stories of on Craigslist of housing swap and so forth. Everything I do in business at IS Amber, George H.W. Bush, Roosevelt II, wherever you see a post, goes over there. Tell my stories all the time. Alright?